All right. Shalom. First and
Shalom.
foremost, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to all you Akim out there who pushing his word with all truth and sincerity. I got it. Salakia. Pushing his truth, pushing his word with all truth and sincerity, and as well as all you believers out there who believing on the gospel. And once again, it's the brothers from the Great Millstone Houston camp. I'm the brother Korah Abad, and as always, we got the beloved Elder Taza Pa, and the Wadi Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, once again, for blessings with another opportunity to bring forth the word, man, bring forth truth, which is prophecy, end time prophecy, which is, as man, every day, every week is a lot going on in the world, that's being reported day in and day out by apostles, elders, and brothers. So we want to, touch on a few things that's been going on or that's been mentioned in the news as of late, which you have a lot of these events, it could be in the news 2 weeks ago, then last week and this week, but you have new things that become published within the news. So some of these things we heard before, but some of these things, it might be new. But if you had some other times, we could hop straight into it.
Yeah, no, you good.
Okay, Con. Well, with that, we got a various topics portion first. Let me share the screen. And Shalom Tala Akim Akwath, who may be tuning in, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Barakatham. But so we gonna hop straight into it. Now, this is the various topics portion, so we'll hit a few things. But to start it off, it's from Natural News. Now, this is from a couple of days ago, about 4 days ago. Now, it says Ozempic, which I'm sure we probably heard of that, but you have a lot of these celebrities that's been on this drug, a weight loss drug called Ozempic. If you've been listening to the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, that's what Kendrick Lamar said Drake was taking, I believe, or Rick Ross, somebody was taking it. But you have a lot of celebrities on this, a lot of average people. They've been getting this Ozempic thing to lose weight. It's been, another fad that people catching on to. But nevertheless, as Esau, everything he give you, it have a side effect to it. And we ain't gonna stay long on this, but it says Ozempic and Wegovy weight loss drugs are injectable lizard venom reptiles that may unleash a devastating wave of organ failure. Side effects align with symptoms of a snake bite. Right? Now, again, we ain't gonna spend too much on this. Just want to kind of highlight it because we're gonna be seeing more about this Ozempic and other drugs that Esau come out with from here on out. But as the MOTB, well, first as the juice, you having all these leaders saying that the juice ain't even work. The MOTB, that ain't gonna work. That's gonna have side effects, and this gonna have side effects, whatever it may be. But it says it can cause nerve damage, pretty much turn you into a zombie. And I seen a brother Bakwasha, he went into a lesson on this last couple of days ago. Lord went like a finder and put into the chat. But just kind of wanted to mention that. But people on this could further, because you already got the juice in people. This could further bug people out. You know, put whatever in them to trigger that spirit, man, of chaos in them. And this could be one thing that leads to it. But we're gonna move on from that. Just kind of wanted to mention. Other times, probably you got something to say on this one?
Yeah, I have to bring out this is Exodus chapter 22, verse 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. So just one more reason why the powers that be, Esau Edom, has to go. All right. This is witchcraft. And when you go into that word witch, it goes into the word pharmakia. All right, which is where we get the term pharmaceuticals or pharmacy. And it's all witchcraft, sorcery. What you're dealing with is sorcery. All right. Instead of teaching people discipline and a little willpower, or even fast and pray, praying and fasting. No, let's cook up a concoction and give the people to kill them. Because at the end of the day, it's all about fulfilling their 10 commandments. I believe it was 10 on the Georgia Guidestones, which right at the top was maintain humanity under 500 million. So this is all just plays into the whole narrative of the Georgia Guidestones, which they conveniently destroyed. Now that they're putting that plan into effect. All right, and that goes into their sorcery. They're gonna tell you what they do before they do it. All right, and now that they're implementing it, they destroyed the stones. So yeah, that was it.
I got a quick one from the comment board. The brother Yahweh, Job 13:4, it says, "But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value." Because again, Esau, he got doctors. He don't have people who can actually heal you. A doctor is somebody who doctors something up. You know, they cover up the real problem and send you off on your way as if you're good, man. Same thing as with all these drugs, whether it's a simple headache medicine. Matter of fact, it was me and a brother in New Orleans was talking a couple months ago about those goody powders. You know, the goody powders that take away a headache or whatever. But Jake, that's a big thing in the Jake community. But I went to the doctor one time when I had tore my Achilles, and they asked me what I was taking for pain. I just told them a goody powder, and the doctor, she said, "Look, stop taking that ASAP because that's a blood thinner. It make your blood get thin quick." You know. But just the point, everything Esau give is not to help. It's to seem like it's helping, and you're going to have to keep coming back because whether it's going to help that or give a problem to something else in your body, man, as we see right here with this Ozempic. Yeah, you might be losing weight, but your organs going to fail. Your nervous system going to shut down. And everything Esau put on the mainstream media and have people following like it's a trend and a new fad, don't follow it. The scriptures say don't follow. A multitude to do evil, roughly paraphrasing. But other than that, we can move on if you ain't got nothing else. So, so the next part of the various topics, as you see right here from End Time Headlines, it says San Francisco. So out of everything that's going on in the world, this is what an American state is worried about. Let me take this down. Right? This is what a city in America is worried about. It says San Francisco becomes one of the first major U.S. cities to declare sanctuary. What sanctuary mean? To declare sanctuary status, it says for transformers. Let's see what sanctuary means. A place of refuge, protection. You see? A place of refuge or protection. In other words, come here and you good. Let's read a little bit of it through. It says San Francisco recognized Pride Month differently this year by declaring itself a sanctuary for transformer and gender non-conforming people. So if you're a freak, you can come to San Francisco. In other words, this place is clearly Sodom and Gomorrah all over again. And not just that, the scriptures say pride goeth before destruction. We in a month called Pride Month by the most proud nation ever to grace the face of the earth, America. It says San Francisco recognized Pride Month differently this year by declaring itself a sanctuary for transformer and gender non-conforming people. The city's board of supervisors unanimously voted Tuesday in favor of the sanctuary status, making San Francisco one of the first major cities in the nation to do so. So they're giving people a place of comfort. Although it's the Lord said he's gonna kill them, America said no, we're gonna give these people a place to feel comfortable. Let me I got a quick precept, if you don't mind. 2nd Ezra 2. Let me see, the 2nd Ezra 2. Is it 2? Okay, here it is, yup. This 2nd Ezra 2, and I'm gonna start at 8 because this describes America. Because again, it says San Francisco had become a sanctuary city, right? And we looked up that definition of sanctuary. It says a place of refuge and protection. Protection. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 2 and verse 8. It says, woe be unto thee Ashur, right? Which we know America is given different code names within the scriptures, like spiritual Sodom, right? Egypt, so on and so forth. But it says, woe be unto thee Ashur, thou that hidest, and we're going to go into that definition of hide, right? But it says, woe be unto thee Ashur, thou that hidest the unrighteous in thee. O thou wicked people, remember what I did unto Sodom and Gomorrah. So what type of unrighteousness is it? Well, after he said you hide unrighteousness in you, but then he mentioned Sodom and Gomorrah. In other words, homosexual activity. Now I want to get that definition of hide real quick on Google. I think it's on Google. I think it's on Oxford. One of them say protect. One of them, let's see. I think it was Oxford. I don't know. One definition I had said protect. Anyway, let me see. Hold on. Because it will go right into that verse, because it says, thou that hidest, which hidest protect. Let me see. I'm gonna just read this. Hide, put or keep out of sight, conceal from the view of others. It's not the one I wanted though. Here it is. It was on Merriam-Webster dictionary. Now this is the definition for hide, right? It says to put out of sight, to conceal, for shelter or protection. To conceal from shelter or for shelter or protection. And when we go back to this verse, it says, woe be unto thee Ashur, 2nd Ezra 2 and 8, thou that hidest or thou that protect the unrighteous in thee, O thou wicked people, remember what I did unto Sodom and Gomorrah, whose land lieth in clouds of pitch and heaps of ashes. Even so also will I do unto them that hear me not, saith the Lord. So we had an example of Sodom and Gomorrah protecting the rainbow people. Remember, they came at Lot for him trying to protect the angels. And what came to them? Fire. So the Lord is saying the same thing. Those who protect these type of people, you're going to have to get judged and destroyed, just like Sodom and Gomorrah. And that's why fire is coming to America. And this is one example. A place to protect rainbow flag supporters and transformers, man. You know, but that's pretty much it on that. You got something, Zaquan?
Yeah, I bring out, this is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 14. The Lord had mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. And all this shit started for you Jake, here in America, especially you Negroes. All this shit started with Obama, because he legalized same-sex marriages. And ever since then, it has progressively gotten worse. All right. Then you start seeing the pride and the parades and the month. They're giving the whole month, an entire month. All right. And I heard somebody, well, I read somewhere, and it's a good point where they said that, the veterans get a day. The people that fought and some that died for this country, they get 1 day. But motherfuckers that ain't did shit for this country, but is actually a liability to this place, they get a whole month. Now, see, this goes back to Isaiah 33:6, where if you don't know the will and the plan of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, this type of shit will run you crazy. Because it totally makes no sense. The people who are destroying this country, they get celebrated. And I saw Yahweh to put up Ecclesiastes 10, and I'm gonna read that on that note. All right. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 10. And he started at verse 5, so I'll get the 5th verse. All right. So this is Ecclesiastes chapter 10. We go verse 5. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceeded from the ruler. All right. Which began, Obama was that ruler. That and Esau always been fruity, but they didn't never make it a national, make it publicly or make it public nationally. No, they use the so-called black man to do that. All right. So yeah, Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 5. There is an evil, which evil means bad time, which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceeded from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. And the rich is in reference to the children of Israel. All right. Who actually rich in all things except for this fake ass paper money. I mean, anything you want to talk about skills, we rich in that, ability, cognitive ability, actual, physical ability, athleticism. We're rich in everything, man. Of course, spiritually, we're rich in faith. We're rich for the hopeful elect, rich in the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. But I just want to let it be known, we're rich in every way you can imagine. All right. But we're in a low place. Why? Because we're under this devil. We have to dance to the beat of his drum, so to speak, as far as being in this society. All right. And verse 7 goes on to say, I have seen servants upon horses. And that's us. I mean, that's Esau. He is the servant that is sitting up on the horse, in an exalted position, a position of power. It says, and princes walking as servants upon the earth. And those princes are the Israelites. And Israel, going into the Hebrew, if you want to say Israel in Hebrew, you would say Yashar Allah. Yashar is prince. Allah is power or God. So those are the princes of God, the princes of power or God. All right. And that's who we are. That's why we're rich. All right. We are the princes of the Most High. And in due time, the Lord is going to send his only begotten son back to restore the nation of Israel. So you got it, brother.
Okay. So for the third article or the last one for the various topics portion is from End Time Headlines again. I think it was like 2 days ago that came out. But on top of everything Americans going through, of course, prices going up on food, struggling in every facet of life. These people are struggling. But one thing Americans know how to do, they know how to eat. You see? Hey, one thing Americans know how to do, they know how to eat. Every event, the main part is eating. And graduations and eating, funerals, eating. Everything is eating. But now, life getting so hard, it says the title is more than a quarter of Americans say they are skipping meals due to skyrocketing grocery costs. For American to skip a meal, that lets you know they're struggling. Americans will be willing to give up anything, but meals, and it's only the beginning. Let's read a little bit of it. It says more than a quarter of Americans have resorted to skipping meals to avoid paying inflated grocery store prices. According to a study by Qualtrics on behalf of Intuit Credit Karma, 80% of Americans say they have felt a notable increase in grocery costs in recent years. And so much so, I've been hearing this in the news, but the middle class ain't the middle class no more. Now they could look like it still, right? They could look like it, but they starting to live paycheck to paycheck, or at least close to it. Shit, even when the CV happened, you had Gabrielle Union crying because her and Dwayne Wade was living paycheck to, paycheck. So how much more when times really get hard for these people, man? When the Lord prophesied about a famine, he wasn't playing. Although it's food and snacks and candy all over America, it's gonna be scarce and quick. Quick.
Right. And the Lord told you through us, his servants, the prophets. All right, Isaiah 65:13. Therefore, thus said the Lord power, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Yeah, y'all didn't want to fast for Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. So the Most High is gonna send a famine and force you to fast.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't gonna have no choice soon. Famine is coming. So go ahead, brother.
Okay, I know there's a scripture somewhere. My brother know where it's at because you said the Lord gonna force him to fast. Let me take this down. The Lord gonna force him to fast.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Now I was just about to say the scripture. It says how the Lord gonna have their teeth so white, like white. They ain't have nothing in their teeth, but the
Oh,
point
okay.
is they gonna be white because you ain't gonna be eating shit. I got if a brother know
Yeah,
what that's
yeah. Con.
you know. But what else? I'm gonna get this real quick. Which this going into the famine coming, but we've been seeing farmers complaining. And how you think the food get into the stores? Through the farmers, through they harvest. But the thing is, farmers been complaining since 2019 and 2020 that they harvest been low. And I mind you, we in 2024 right now. What's in stores? That came from the farmers in 2023. What's in stores now? That's from the previous year's harvest. The point is, if they getting the farmers giving less, that means the stores got to do what? Go up on their costs. And that's just one reason why the cost going up. But I'm gonna get this real quick. 2nd Ezra 6:22. And suddenly, right, shall the sown places appear unsown. That what's the sown places? You sow your seed, that's the farmers. In the field, right? Growing, producing. But it said he suddenly they ain't gonna have all that. You read in 2nd Ezra what that is, 15 or 16, how the farmers gonna be complaining here in Babylon the Great. And that's what we've been seeing. But it says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. So if the farmer's struggling, guess what? The store's gonna be struggling too, and that's the full storehouses. That's why prices going up. You seeing less products, so on and so forth. Look, the Lord closing the doors on this place, man. And reading this article, I also thought about that Ecclesiastes 12. If a brother want to put it into the chat how it says, and they look out the window and it shall be dark and right. It's no hope left for America. The writing is on the wall. It's no hope in her face. Look, yeah, it's no hope left through. You know? But I'll finish this. It says, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid, and the time shall be that friends shall fight one against another like enemies. So you see, taking away just a meal, right? Daily necessities, that's gonna have you going against your not enemies, not people you don't know, but friends, like enemies. Come on, man. It says, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein, and the springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. But the point is, a lot of these food products, like you see the chickens, they being burnt down, the chicken processing facilities. You also have cattle across America being put to death. You got the water systems that's being hacked. So everything right now that man needs to survive is being taken away by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. What you got to do, Zaquan?
Yeah, and Elder Atazaria had posted a clip earlier this week, which would coincide with some news that I had came across with the banning of raw milk, or at least it being transported across state lines. But we know that they cutting down on that anyway, period. Raw milk, they're going after these organic farmers, even the Amish, are being targeted because they produce healthy, real food. They produce real food that is nutrient rich in nutrients, that has the capability of healing you. And this is what they don't want. They don't want healthy people who can stand up, think for themselves, and fight against them. So I saw you, Howard, to post Amos 4:6. He found it before I did. But the water, and Amos 4:6 says, I start there. Amos 4:6, and I also have given you cleanness of teeth in all your cities, and want of bread in all your places. Yet have ye not returned unto me, said Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. So of course, this is the Most High basically getting on Israel. But that's going for these heathens today here in America, because the same judgment that was pronounced against us is now being pronounced on against the heathen. So we can apply this to the heathen, but just know and understand that that was the Lord speaking to the children of Israel. That's why I said, yet have ye not returned unto me, said the Lord. But yeah, people gonna have cleanness of teeth here real soon.
Mm-hmm.
The sale of dental floss and toothpicks gonna go down.
God.
Yeah.
God.
Come.
I got a quick. Oh, Salak, you got it.
No, you got it.
All right, I got one from the brother from Sons of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, the brother Labad. It says, Ezekiel 4:16. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem. And like the elder just said, this ain't just for the. Now, back then he was pinpointing just Israel, because they was getting judged in the land. But remember, we in Jacob's trouble, and Jacob scattered throughout the four corners. So these things will be happening throughout the four corners. Because in Jacob's trouble, all the nations about to be judged too.
Right.
So these things, this is gonna happen for everybody. But check this out, because in this beautiful to go along with that, the title of this article. More than a quarter of Americans say they are skipping meals due to skyrocketing grocery prices. Where that brother precept at? It says, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight and with care. Dangers gonna be picking out no more. And especially when times get hard, it's really a lack of bread, meaning you're gonna be saving some of that food. You ain't just go eat it all in one sitting. Say if you got a bottle of water, you and your family, you go put the lines on a bottle and make sure each person drink it to the line and save it to later. You ain't gonna just drink the whole bottle like people doing now, overindulging. But you already see a sign of that. People got to skip meals. Look, while life's so-called good, why they could still go home, watch TV, go on vacations, do this. You got to skip meals while everything okay. Even right now, they eating with care, right? Moving in a way to save. It says, and what else? And they shall drink water by measure and with astonishment, that they may want bread and water and be astonished one with another and consume away for their iniquity. You got it.
No, you good, brother. You good.
One more. The brother Yahweh, the brother on fire. Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because there are few. And I just read an article earlier going into I think it was on Natural News, how or why are Americans losing jobs at a high rate, something like that. Well, it's prophecy. Whatever the reason is on earth, but it's ultimately prophecy. It says, and the grinders cease because there are few. That's the point. And those that look out the windows be darkened. Right? Be darkened. Because what? When you look out a window, you know, something special in the morning, you look out, open your windows, get the sunshine up in there. You know, you can go about your day, what I'm going to do. Well, the Lord said it be dark and ain't no hope, ain't no sunshine, ain't no light at the end of the tunnel for these people. It's over.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like the prophets are known as what? Another term for prophet is a seer. So he has to be able to see into the future. A prophet has to have vision, and you hear apostles, especially Apostle Gabar, go into that from time to time. So Satan has his seers on the left-hand side. You know, these Edomites. You know, and what is a window for? It's for seeing. So it's basically going into their vision. Their vision is going to be darkened. Mm. And I did a video where what was that? The Project Looking Glass. That's the name of it.
Oh yeah.
Y'all can look in the Project Looking Glass, and it literally goes into that, how, you know, all options they have run out at a certain point in time, and then they don't have no more vision beyond that, because we know what happens. Yahushua comes back. Mm-hmm. So all points lead to Yahushua, you know, and that's Project Looking Glass. And then on top of that, you know, they're using this CERN. And the brother Karabad, you bring out sometimes about, you know, they had got a message one time out of CERN that it said Tekel. Mm-hmm. So it's going into that. It's dark for these devils. At one point in time, they had options that they could run. They could run different routes. Okay, we're gonna go this way, and we're gonna pass the ball, and then you're gonna catch it at the 35. Now, you know, it's just like, you know, shit. They out of options. And basically, that's what the scripture is going into. They that look out of windows, they're seers, they're soothsayers, they're monthly prognosticators. They don't have any answers anymore. It's dark for them. And that brings us to the day of the Lord, which is what? Darkness and not light.
Not light.
When the Lord died on the cross, it literally what? It went dark. There was a solar eclipse. So yeah, when he come back, it's gonna be dark. You know, and I don't know how the weather gonna be outside, but you know, it's gonna be clouds like Joel going to thick clouds and gloominess. So yeah, the brother got the clip right there, but yeah, that was it. I mean, you got the article up, the headline. You can go into it if you want.
Can I read a little bit of it? And look, I clicked on it and check it out. Guess who posted the video? Your boy William Mount.
Okay.
But I try to click on it, they deleted it. It's off. It's off the YouTube, but we still got the article.
Yeah, he probably got it on Patreon or somewhere else, you know. But yeah, yeah, he a proud, hard-headed Edomite.
Mm-hmm.
But he gets some things right.
That's right. I read this real quick. As he was going into the Sears, but this was from 7 years ago. It says message to the elites from CERN. Now this is from a random website. If you go type it in, you can see it, on different sites. But this is the one that still at least has some up about it other than the deleted video. But it says real quick, I get straight to it. And we know that this is in Daniel when the writing was on the wall, many tekel you forcing. So straight to the point, and we can move on. It says, seems like a CERN scientist stuck his head into the reactor and got bopped with the particle. Now he is getting multi-dimensional messages. They think they reached the Most High, and they got one word back, and it was tekel. Now, if you read Daniel,
God.
It says, do you remember in the book of Daniel, there is a story of the fall of Nebuchadnezzar's son, Belshazzar, which was Babylon. Esau, he ruled the second Babylon. The great, it says he had a huge party and invited all of the elite. During this party, in a drunken, debauched state, they decided to open up the sacred artifacts that had been taken from the Jews. Then the Most High responded. He wrote on a wall, many, tekel upharsin. They didn't know what the writing on the wall meant, so they sought out Daniel, and Daniel told them, you have been judged and found wanting. So the message from CERN, which tekel, the Lord was telling Esau, or these elites in this world, you have been weighed. You have been weighed.
Sir. That's right.
You got it.
And the brother GMS Spiritual Art, that's right. He posted Isaiah 47, man. And that's exactly right. The Most High is taunting these devils. And where was that? Verse 12. I'm gonna just hit right at the point. Isaiah chapter 47, verse 12. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. But the Lord already know it was prophesied by King Solomon himself that those that look out of windows shall be darkened. And here is the Lord taunting them about.
Man.
So yeah, brother.
That's cool. It's amazing to just see the Lord word that was written thousands of years ago literally play out.
Yep.
But we'll hop into this video right here. We'll continue. So we done with the various topics portion. Now we'll hop into the next segment, which is summer weather. And that's one thing the Lord been having us mention past 2 weeks, that the weather that's been taking place in America, depending on which state is in, or really it's been more than one state, but it's been uncommon. It ain't like out here in Houston. It ain't just been a regular storm. And matter of fact, man, it was the other day. I was about to leave from the job, and it started raining out of nowhere. I think this was Tuesday.
Monday.
Yeah, El Dr. Zaria.
Yeah, Tuesday. You right. Tuesday, right before camp. Yeah.
Yep, because El Dr. Zaria put in the chat, he was like, hey, Akim, it's one of those, wild ass storms again. Pretty much be safe. But this will tell you, well, I don't know. I was about to say Esau doing, I don't know, but the Lord doing it. The point is, it started raining hard, and it rained for about an hour or two on my side. And I looked on my weather app on my phone, and I kept updating it. It didn't show rain nowhere. It wasn't even showing like the thunderstorm, the raindrops. You know how you check your weather. I got an iPhone, but you know how you check the weather. Like right now, it's showing a little cloudy. Then at 6 p.m., it got the sun. It didn't have rain nowhere on the weather app, but it was raining for about 2 hours. You see? Mm-hmm. And look, thunderstorms coming 100-mile-an-hour winds, then go away 30 minutes later like nothing ever happened. Hail falling. It's the hottest it's ever been. Tornadoes popping up. It's cold in, it's snowing in. What a couple months ago, it snowed in Vegas. You know, the point is 2024, the summer of 2024, they say it's gonna be bad. They said it's gonna be bad, man. Everything gonna be bad, and Lord willing it do. Starting with hurricane season. They said this one gonna be the worst, and they gonna be unexpected hurricanes. Like you had mentioned a week ago, usually it's a build-up to a hurricane. They warn you weeks or days in advance. Okay, it's a category 2 now. All right, it's a category 3 now. Y'all start to, you got it.
No, you good. I'm disagreeing.
You know, y'all start to evacuate category 3. They give you time. They look, or whereas it's almost to the coast of Florida now, so you can leave and evacuate. But they saying this year, 2024 hurricanes, which we touched on the article last week, they said they gonna be unexpected. They ain't gonna hit the radar. A lot of them ain't gonna hit the radar, and they said it should be around 20 plus, and 4 to 7 of them gonna be could be category 4 on up. You know, but let's let this play again. This is end time prophecy as well. This ain't Mother Nature this year. How about Shimi Hawashai doing this? You want to say something before I play it?
No, you good, brother.
All right, Con, let me put the sound on. All right, Con. So this from Snyder Reports, and he put that out 2 days ago. Oh, that's a spirit. Remember, it says, why are so many Americans losing jobs? That's the next video. We're just talking about that. But
so this will be a summer like no other. We're about to see.
What'd you say?
I was just saying, William Mott, he was just going in on that about the job situation. So yeah, that's the climate of America right now. But yeah, brother.
So this will be a summer like no other. We are about to see political tensions increase, but the big issue.
Salaki, and that's another thing. Man, they talking about Trump about to go to jail July, what, 11th or something, 15 or something like that. And they saying they building concentration camps, and then you got the MAGA supporters saying, I wish you would take King Trump to jail. They ain't say that, but Ben, I wish you would take Trump to jail. It's gonna be worse than January 5+1. It's gonna be worse than that. So that's another thing that's going on. But let's listen to him talk about this weather that's coming.
So this will be a summer like no other. We are about to see political tensions increase, but the big issue right now that's going to impact millions and millions of people all across the United States is the weather. Forecasters are already predicting this is going to be a historic year, but it could be a bad year. So I'm going to break all this down in just a moment, but just understand at this time, hurricanes are expected to rise. The heat wave is continuing to push all across the United States. We are anticipating an increased amount of deaths due to the hurricanes, due to tornadoes, and due to heat. So
I don't really want to say that. A lot of deaths coming because of this weather.
Again, I'm going to break all that down in today's video, but all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So the 2024 summer season is going to be devastating. I want to show you this. And this is an article from CNN. It says why this summer's forecast is bad news for the U.S. after an exceptionally disastrous start of the year. Now, most people would anticipate it's because of the amount of deaths that we had, because of the tornadoes, because of the hurricanes that we are anticipating. And here's the thing that's crazy. This year, we are already anticipating more hurricanes than ever before. But just listen to this.
This, in fact, is the year that NOAA has predicted the highest number of possible named storms, up to 25, and 4 to 7 of those are forecast to become major hurricanes. So what's happening here with the sea surface, the water temperature right now is already above average, and we're not even in the hottest months of the summer yet. We're talking about the waters in the Atlantic and parts of the Caribbean, essentially everything that's surrounding Florida. The other thing, as you mentioned, is La Nina. what that does is it reduces the amount of wind shear that can break apart hurricanes. So if they don't have that wind shear acting against them, well, there's a greater potential for them to be bigger and more destructive.
So right there, if they don't have that wind shear going against the hurricanes, these hurricanes could be bigger and more destructive. We already have seen states over on the East Coast are preparing for this. But the concern is they don't have the funding to back them up. That's the big issue. But I'm going to get to that in just a moment. But here's the other one. This dangerous heat wave that is going across the United States. They're saying this could break temperature records again because the cities over on the East Coast are now preparing for this heat wave. On the West Coast, we just had this just the other day. Now, here's something you may not know. Okay. You may not realize that these heat waves, you'll come and go, but just in Las Vegas, they reached record temperatures the other day as well. They're at 111, 110 degrees. That was so much more than what it was in the past, especially at this time of the year. Just look at this. Okay, look at this right here. It says the dome of sizzling temperatures in the West early week will engulf the nation's heartland starting Wednesday, then spread across the southern and eastern U.S. The second half of the week. While these regions heat up, the Pacific Northwest can expect to cool down by next weekend. Look at that. Look at the entire U.S. is almost all in orange or red. Just the Pacific Northwest has a little bit of green, and then there's some up here in the Northeast as well. But everything else, just high heat. That is going to cause our electrical grid to potentially have rolling blackouts because our electrical grid is not used to that much heat. The big thing is people that are living on the streets, they need to find a place to go. Because if you are on the streets and it's 100, 110 degrees out, it is going to be brutal. People will lose their lives. Let me show you this though.
And temperature, like weather, could drive a struggling person to wild out and do something crazy. On top of all this that's going on, though, it's gonna be hot. People are already struggling. And one of the solutions, matter of fact, he posted it up today, Snyder Reports, that they talking about a UBI coming. They're going to give a UBI to the people, that's coming. But it's going to be hot. It might turn off the lights. So it's going to be hot and your electricity might not work. What air conditioner? But I'll finish. You got some other ties of power?
No, go ahead.
All right, come. It got a little bit, just 4 minutes.
This is why the summer's forecast is bad news for the U.S. Well, the reason why it's bad news is because we don't have the funding if there's a disaster. When we see high heat, everybody worries.
So, what else I've been noticing too that's been in the news? Over the past couple of years, we'll always hear things that's happening or what's bad about to happen in foreign countries or foreign land. And eventually, we knew the law was going to start targeting America. Now, a lot of this, the main disastrous things that's coming is pinpointed towards America now. A lot of these articles and videos is bad that's coming to America. It ain't really these other nations like that no more. It's all America now. The spotlight on them now, man. The Lord saved the best for last.
Worries about, is my air conditioning working? Is the pool filled up? Is the AC in the car, is it blowing cold air? That's what most people worry about. I'll just turn the sprinkler on. We'll go to the family fun center. We'll go and have fun. We'll jump in the pool and go down the water slides and everything will be good. Here's the problem. When you have high heat, you also have an increased chance of it starting a fire. We are already expecting more fires, more wildfires this season. So we have more wildfires. We're expecting more tornadoes. We're expecting more hurricanes at a record pace. And on top of all that, you're just going to have heat, right? So here's the thing you need to understand. Look at this. It says, now heading into what forecasters say will be an extreme summer, from punishing heat waves to severe weather and hurricanes, the nation's disaster relief agency is expected to run out of money before it's even over. Okay? How crazy is that? We're going to run out of money. So before this disastrous summer is over, we're expected to not have the funds to pay for it. Let's keep reading this. It says the U.S. has been thrashed by 11 extreme weather disasters with costs exceeding $1 billion so far this year, with a total price tag of $25.1 billion. It says according to an updated tally from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. It's tied for the second most such disasters on record and doesn't even include extreme weather on the second half of May. Okay, it says that is worrying news for the Federal Emergency Management Agency, whose major disaster relief fund could slip into the red by the end of the summer, a more than $1.3 billion shortfall by August. Okay, that's the problem. If we see a $1.3 billion shortfall in August, how do we pay for this stuff? This is where lawmakers are trying to come in and say, you know what? We need to do better. We need to make sure that FEMA has the funding it needs to withstand these storms, right? The heat waves, the tornadoes, the hurricanes, and potentially wildfires. The one thing that we've had already is major hurricane or major tornadoes, right? Have taken the lives of many people, right? Just completely decimated small towns. But we've also had the threat of additional hurricanes, right? Tropical storms, named hurricanes. They're predicting between 4 and 7 different hurricanes, major hurricanes just this year. That is huge. If we have, let's say, 7 hurricanes, that's going to be devastating for millions of people. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because of what happened in Maui in Hawaii just this past year. They were devastated when the fire came through and took out most of that island, right? Or at least the western side of that island. But here's the thing. People are still trying to get back on their feet. They're still trying to get money from FEMA. They're still trying to get the money that they were owed from insurance companies, right? They're not getting it. It's taken so long for people to put their lives back together. But right now, if FEMA is already anticipating a shortfall of about $1.3 billion and we haven't even experienced the toughest part of the year, what do we do at that point? So that's just what I want to leave you with. Just understand we could be in a very dangerous situation right now because of what's expected to come over the next 3 months. So we'll see what.
Man.
Right. So the stage is set. The stage is set. Yeah, it's about to get rough. You got something?
Yeah, the brother Yahweh, Isaiah 29:6. Just to show these weather events, this not just no Mother Nature or harp every time. Notice the Lord, man. Even if they do it, Mother, harp, it's the Lord still. It says Isaiah 29:6, thou shalt be visited of Yahweh of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and with great noise and with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. That's everything that man just named in that video. Tornadoes, earthquakes, hurricanes, fires. And again, like he said with that Maui situation, people still trying to get on their feet. What if one of these tornadoes or hurricanes come and sweep a good portion of people in Florida, Louisiana, and Georgia, on the coast, and their houses get wiped out? Then what? But this could be a perfect solution of bringing that UBI too.
Yep.
But we could move on. I put in the chat. Also, Tuesday it says this from End Time Headlines. South, just lambacking off the weather. South Florida receives record rainfall, and again, these weather patterns, they've been hitting record levels of biblical proportion. In other words, all of them. It says South Florida receives record rainfall and flash flooding in 500 to 1,000 year event. I'll read a little bit. A city on Florida's west coast was hit by a record-breaking 8 inches of rain in just 3 hours on Tuesday evening, bringing flash floods to the area, hindering drivers, delaying hundreds of flights across the state. It says so rare was Tuesday's rain between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. in Sarasota that it should only be expected every 500 to 1,000 years. The Tampa Bay area can normally expect 7.3 inches in the entire month of June. And it had a little video. It wasn't that much, but again, just to show even if it's a little rain, little storm, it's record breaking though.
Yeah, we hadn't even hit summer yet.
And even simple stuff like this just bring aggravation and difficulty to people's life and people who are already mad. Look, most of these people probably just getting off mad, don't end up telling how they day been. all on their way to work, and they got to deal with this now. People worrying about how their children go eat, how they gonna do this and do that, and they got to deal with this now. Hoping their house ain't flooded.
Yep.
You see? But that's it on that. If you ain't had nothing else.
And Isaiah 6, just so people know that word tempest goes back to the Hebrew sayar, which is that's Strong's number H5591. Okay. And in the outline of biblical usage, it says tempest, storm, a whirlwind. And that's what you're dealing with. A whirlwind, either a hurricane or tornado. The whirlwinds on the in the eastern hemisphere, they call them typhoons. But yeah, those are tempests. Those windstorms, which are spirits. They obey the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, brother.
Come on. Brother's getting busy. But so moving on, that's the summer weather portion of the lesson. Next segment is World War III updates. Now I'm sure we probably all heard about now. Drop that Russia pulled up. Oh, Chiefy from Russia. Russia really pulled up. You know.
Hey, before you move on, the brother say he in London and it's been the same shit over there. Weird weather patterns. If you want to read it, you can read it for the people.
So this from the brother in Salaki, and forgive me if I get your name wrong. I'm gonna try though. Chikamadu Egaru. It says, Shalom Akim. I'm from London, and the weather has been very strange. Esau is messing with the weather. It hasn't been hot. It's just been raining, and it's in the middle of June.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, similar situation here. We have our hot days, but it ain't as hot as it would be because we getting rain damn near every day. And it may not be like the brother Karabai say, maybe an hour, might be 30 minutes. It could be half a day, but damn near like it looks like it want to rain right now. So yeah, it's the same shit over here. But you got it out.
So hitting on the World War III portion of the lesson, again, Russia pulled up. You know, they ain't in America yet. Well, hey, I'm sure they got sleeper cells here, but they closer to America. You know, they closer to America. They pulled up in Cuba, and so like I'm getting a little excited. That might not be their only stop. It might not be their only stop. They may hit Central and South America as well, according to Scott Ritter. You know, so it says this was put out from Redacted, and this was 3 days ago. It says Russia's nuclear warships arrive in Cuba. The United States is in striking distance. And again, this is all according to prophecy. The Lord is getting them ready, man. You know, they got let me type it in. Let me see. Russian ships. I'm gonna just type in Cuba, just go to Google. But they there in striking distance. And Cuba ain't that far from Miami. But look, and I'm sure we seeing some videos and all that. You had Jake. Look, watch. Look, looking at shit. But yeah, Russia here. They ain't playing. So going back to this, I'm gonna let this video play, and Elder Taza Padre let me know, if you kind of want to make a point. Now stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, overnight, Russian warships and a nuclear-powered submarine arrived in Cuba, 90 miles from Florida's coast. Someone called John F. Kennedy and seek his wisdom, if you can find him. Meanwhile, Senator Lindsey Graham this weekend finally told the truth and admitted the real reason we are sending billions of dollars to Ukraine and training and weapons. Listen.
Either we're going to help Ukraine or we're not. It's now time to give them the F-16s, let them fly the planes, long-range artillery to hit targets inside of Russia. They're sitting on $10 to $12 trillion of critical minerals in Ukraine. They could be the richest country in all of Europe. I don't want to give that money and those assets to Putin to share with China. If we help Ukraine now, they can become the best business partner we ever dreamed of. That $10 to $12 trillion of critical mineral assets could be used by Ukraine and the West, not given to Putin and China. This is a very big deal how Ukraine ends. Let's help them win a war we can't afford to lose. Let's find a solution to this war. But they're sitting on a gold mine to give Putin $10 or $12 trillion of critical minerals that he will share with China is ridiculous.
So, of course, it's not about the Ukrainian people at all. It never was about the Ukrainian people. It's about $10 trillion of resources. We don't care about the Ukrainians. It's about the minerals. It's about the resources that we plan to plunder and steal from them, of course. And Russia is getting in the way to our strategic plans.
That's Habakkuk's second chapter. He go all over the world taking.
There.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they playing with potential nuclear war over minerals and resources? Our next guest is holding a special emergency press conference this week in Washington, D.C. It's called "The Danger of Nuclear War is Real and It Must Be Stopped." That is former UN weapons inspector Scott Ritter is going to be at that D.C. event, and he joins me now. Scott, great to see you.
Oh, good to see you.
So we'll talk about the event in just a minute and get your perspective on that. But first, your response to Lindsey Graham this weekend, making a number of different statements. So Lindsey Graham admitting the truth. 600,000 Ukrainians, it's not really about them at all. It's about our ability to get our hands on $10 trillion of minerals and resources.
Well, Lindsey Graham's been around a long time, and he's old enough to remember that this has always been the American policy regarding post-Soviet Russia. The United States, from the moment the Soviet Union collapsed, viewed Russia as a landmass that was too big, had too much wealth, too much minerals, would make any emerging Russian state self-sufficient with the capability of not being totally subservient to the West. And it was always the policy objective of the United States to ensure that Russia could never again rise up and challenge the United States globally like the Soviet Union did. And so the policy of the United States was always to weaken Russia politically, economically, and geographically, to break Russia up into constituent parts so that you couldn't have a singular entity possessing all of this capability. So the Ukrainian conflict is an extension of this. You know, if you go back to the period of time before the Maidan revolution, the Maidan coup in 2014, when Viktor Yanukovych and even the presidents before that were desirous of joining the European Union. The reason why they didn't join the European Union is because in the post-Soviet era, in the 90s and afterwards, Ukraine had a special economic relationship with Russia. And this relationship allowed Ukraine to trade with Russia, to have industrial capabilities that continued to feed into the Russian system, similar to what had happened in the Soviet times when it was a singular economy. And if Ukraine joined the European Union, then Russia would have to put up a barrier because you can't allow an EU nation to exploit Ukraine to poach the Russian economy. So Russia told Ukraine, you have a choice. You can continue to have this great trading relationship with us, or you can join the European Union, have a great trading relationship with them, but you can't have both. And Ukraine made the decision that it was just too expensive for them to walk away. We couldn't accept that because even though Ukraine was an independent sovereign state, Russia continued to be able to access Ukrainian resources. And we didn't want Russia to access those resources. We wanted those resources for ourselves. So one of the main reasons to strip Ukraine away from Russia was always about the resources.
That's what the whole thing about. America being that devil of the earth, man, taking everything. But it's going to backfire, though.
This is why Hunter Biden worked for Burisma, a energy exchange company. This is why American politicians have always had a unique attraction to Ukraine, because they could sit on boards, they could associate with companies that were dealt with energy. This is about America siphoning the economic wealth of Ukraine away from Ukraine and away from Russia. Lindsey Graham has finally told the truth about what the American policy with Ukraine is about. It's never been about democracy. Ukraine's never been a democracy. It's never been about helping the Ukrainian people. We don't care about them. I've been saying this since day one. You can't claim to care about a people whom you allow their manhood to be slaughtered on the battlefield, allow their people to be dispersed. This is about Ukrainian resources. That's it. And Lindsey Graham is basically saying that he's willing to let Ukrainians die to the last Ukrainian so that America can gain access and control of Ukraine's mineral wealth.
How close are we to nuclear war? You're about to head to Washington, D.C. and headline this event down there, be one of the speakers as part of this big event, this press conference. And it seems like Russian President Putin has made it explicitly clear that all of this sort of training and all of these other HIMARS attacks and things are not okay. But once that crosses the line into cruise missiles, once ATACMS or Storm Shadows start coming across the border, it's game over. How close are we to that moment? And when people throw around the idea of nuclear war, are they just being hyperbolic, or are we there? Are we at this sort of Cuban Missile Crisis moment right now?
Well, we're past the Cuban Missile Crisis. What people don't understand with the Cuban Missile Crisis is that, yes, the Soviets put missiles into Cuba, but the confrontation was timed to the arrival of Soviet ships to a line that Kennedy had drawn in the Caribbean. And so we had this clock that was running down to that gave people a moment to look at, consider. Insanity prevailed on both sides. We don't have a line. We have a push of the button. We are one ATACMS launch away from general nuclear conflict with Russia, meaning that the Ukrainians who have ATACMS missiles now, if they attack the wrong target inside Russia, this could lead to a general nuclear war. And it's that. And so what I'm trying to tell the audience here is that for whatever reason, we have passed down to the Ukrainians the ability to start a general nuclear war. Until we take the ATACMS out of their control, until we take the Scalp missile, the Storm Shadow out of their control, we have pushed down to Ukraine the ability to create the conditions for a nuclear conflict. Now,
I'm going to skip it up a little bit.
There's also a Russian nuclear-powered cruise missile submarine.
Would be located that we would want to test this out, this theory?
I mean, that's a Russian foreign policy, national security policy prerogative. But I'll say this: a Russian ship has arrived in a Cuban port. On board that ship are Zircon hypersonic missiles that are in range of the United States, and the United States has nothing that can shoot them down. There's also a Russian nuclear-powered cruise missile submarine in the same area. The weapons on board these two ships have the ability to take the East Coast off of the map of the United States. That's with, of course, nuclear weapons, but they're also precision guided. How does it feel to be in the White House knowing that you're 12 minutes away from dying and there's nothing anybody can do to save you? The Secret Service can't get you out of the White House fast enough. And it's not a nuclear explosion. It's a Zircon missile that's going to come in and hit the White House. It can't be stopped. If the president's in the White House and the Russians decide to kill him, he's a dead man.
It was somewhere in this video. I should have did the timestamp. But what he was saying is Russia had he was speculating, right? That Russia also had weapons, missiles, that wasn't visible on those boats. And he was saying, and knowing Russia, they wasn't leaving with them on the boats, which means They probably blessing these other nations as they making their rounds, man. But this is all prophecy. The Lord is having these nations assembling themselves, beginning with Russia, and He's arming them. These things are going on right before our eyes. What that is, Ezekiel 38, Jeremiah 50, 51. Get one. You got some other ties of power? You're on mute. Yeah, you still on mute.
Oh, okay, man. Salakia. Yeah, I was saying, people over here, they're all caught up in bread and circus. And the world is literally at war. People concerned about the playoffs, the baseball season kicking off. All this stuff that has no bearing on, what's coming down the pipe. And there was a segment, I don't know who did the video, this interview, but they was in Russia and they were asking people what they thought about America and Americans. And they were saying how basically they need to come to Russia to see, basically that learn how a man is to be a man and a woman is to be a woman. But this is how they're viewing people in America, just totally caught up in trivial and meaningless arguments and topics while you're in the midst of a war. There's a war going on. But see, that goes back to Isaiah 57 again, the virgin daughter of Babylon. And people don't see that this virgin is about to get raped, gang raped. And they all lined up ready. But because they used to, when the scriptures say, let me grab that, brother. So the people know what I'm speaking on. This is Isaiah 47:1. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon." Now it's calling her a virgin, and this is in reference to America today, because America has never been invaded. All right, what does a man do when he take a woman? He invades her. He goes into her. As the scriptures say, he goes in unto her. All right, it's an invasion of sorts. So this is what America is being compared to a virgin, because it's never been invaded. So again, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne. This is what the people don't know. Again, I have to reference Isaiah 33:6. For wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. So they don't understand this because they don't, one, either believe in the scriptures or believe in the scriptures falsely. But it says there is no throne. People still thinking America sits on the throne. There is no throne. It says, sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. So you brought up Daniel and that Mene Tekel Upharsin. The people of America are in that spirit. They're in a drunken, debauched state and don't even know the handwriting is right there on the wall in front of their face. And as far as Lindsey Graham, that warmonger, and he's coming out and saying it just like that was Scott Ritter said. At least he told the truth on that, and that they want the resources. Well, that's just one part of it, but yes, they want the resources. And they don't care how many people got to die for them to get it. Just like going into Iraq back in the day, and you could pull it up if you want, Madeleine Albright justified the killing of 500,000 children for what? For the sake of them getting in Iraq and having access to those resources, and for a strategic positioning in the Middle East. So these people are murderers, cold-blooded, straight-faced murderers. And this is Psalm 73:7. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. And what are they doing? They're over there oppressing the Ukrainians. All right. Scott Ritter also talked about how Ukraine is getting decimated. They're pulling citizens to go to the front lines. Of course, Western media, these this controlled media outlet or conglomeration ain't gonna report that. But Russia is just systematically dismantling the Ukrainian army. And it's partly because they don't have the structure and the training in place to deal with. Russia has the top military on the face of the earth. I don't give a damn what nobody say. And it was said either by Scott Ritter or this other guy it was this other, I believe this other guy, I have to get his name, and he be on it. But he said that even America can't go against Russia right now. Russia not only has weapon superiority, but they also have superiority in logistics, manpower, and training, tactics. They have superior tactics over America. And again, what is the U.S. military involved in? DEI and all this other shit. Diversity, equity, inclusion. Making sure trans get treated right in the ranks. All this other shit. And again, hey, this place is poised for a fall. And if you don't see it, that's because the Lord don't want you to see it. You're going to be a part of that fall because the signs are everywhere. But yeah, hey, man, this thing is about to blow off the lid. But go ahead,
God, look how close that is. 90 miles. They say it's 90-mile distance. Well, that's
people swim. People swim from Cuba to the U.S. So that should tell you everything you need to know. You know, I'm not saying they swim. They get a piece of driftwood. They get on a piece of driftwood and they swim their ass over here. Okay, that's the quote right there. Yep, that's it. These people don't give a damn. And they get y'all to get into the military, and you go take part of these murders. Y'all in this military, and you don't get a goddamn thing out of it. Helping this man to murder in cold blood. You got it though, brother.
Yeah, I got a quick precept, but I put this video in the chat. Baba Kashah, check it out. It's good. I only watched it until Scott Ritter part. After that was pretty much it. But he said a whole lot of good stuff for a good 40 minutes straight. So go check that out. Because what he was going into is Russia. And he pretty much said, and I don't know if it's true, just what he said. He was like, after them, they most likely going to drop weapons off to Venezuela. You know, but look, they probably, who knows, they making it. We'll see what happens. But the Lord is having Russia, starting with Putin, gathering these nations. You got BRICS going on. Everybody want to join BRICS now. Everybody want to get behind Russia, even some of American allies, whether it's on mainstream media or not. Because according to the prophecy in Obadiah, it says that they allies was going to be deceiving them that they're on their side, but they're really not. Roughly paraphrasing. But I'm gonna get this real quick. This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 9. I'm gonna read the NLT. Now I'm gonna read the KJV first. It says, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north." Now, again, this ain't happening in its full yet, but we eventually gonna see more of this take place. Nations preparing themselves, starting with Russia, to get ready to go to war with America. It says, and they shall, check this out. Think about how crazy that sound. Russia just pulled up all the way over here, right there. And America ain't do nothing about it and can't do nothing about it.
And that's another thing that they said that America won't be able. They'll cut off with their Russia will cut off access to the Atlantic Ocean with their submarines. They're not going to allow America to leave because they there's been stories in the news where those submarines that Scott Ritter was talking about, they can pull right up to the U.S. shores undetected.
They did.
So what do you think if the U.S. would descend any type of naval vessel into the sea? They're going to take it out. Putin has completely out-strategized the entire Department of Defense, the U.S. Department of Defense. They're outclassed, outmanned, and out-strategized. And it's and the Most High is behind it. But yeah, that guy's name was Larry Johnson, and that YouTube page, you could check the video out, is Land, L-A-N, Handmade, Handmade, Land Handmade, and the title is Larry Johnson Reveals Putin Warns the West to Prepare for Brutal Response. That's the name of the video. And he goes in. Yeah, Larry Johnson. So you got it out.
I'm gonna throw it in the chat for him.
It's in there. It's that last one I sent on the in the WhatsApp. If you that last link that I sent. Yeah, that should be it.
Yeah, this is a submarine. I don't know if this is the one you're talking about, but it's in his article. That black one. I don't know if this is the exact one, but
Okay, yeah, cool. I ain't see it. Yeah, it could be.
But that'll.
Yeah, they got some. They Russia been busy.
Now I finish. This is Jeremiah 50 and 9. It says, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country." It says, here it is, "And they shall set themselves in array against her." That word array. It says, come on, man, we're just pulling up. Anyway, let me try to hit on Google. Array definition. It says in order. Man, hold on. I'm gonna go to the etymology then. But eventually, nations are gonna start preparing themselves, getting in position. This array in mid-14th century on the etymology online. Array, order or position of things, arrangement, to put in order, rank or line of soldiers, troops drawn up in battle formation. Also, equipment, furnishings, gear. Come on, man. So it says Jeremiah 50 and 9. And again, this is we will see more nations make their way probably on this side of the world, or as close as they can getting, or we might see Russia help them out. Who knows? But they're preparing themselves to come up against America. It says, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her, and from thence she shall be taken. Their arrows, showing, look, they bringing missiles with them. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man, and none shall return in vain. NLT says they will take up their positions. Russia could look again. You think they come in empty-handed, like they ain't got no weapons and no extra artillery on there to hand and give out? Right here it says they will arrange their battle lines against her. You just said, well, I think you or Scott, you said Scott Ritter said it, one of them, but they could take over pretty much half of the ocean pretty much if they wanted to.
I believe that was Larry Johnson.
Okay, come on.
So I was watching him, General Douglas MacArthur. He got a good segment on Russia. And Scott Ritter, I watched them three. And they pretty much on the same accord. That shit, America don't want none of that bear. The Virgin don't want to be fucking with this bear.
And this is another thing they said that came out moving on, but they said, and I just let them
list of cities on the
but they supposedly had 8. I typed it in. It says ICE arrests 8 suspects with ties to ISIS in New York, LA, and Philadelphia. So they're saying the TERR is speak been on the rise as well. So expect something to happen. And even backing off. You got it?
No, I'm just tripping. Go ahead.
Kind of just backing off what Scott Ritter said. How Russia, knowing them, they came with weapons and they ain't leaving with the weapons, which means they're giving it to these, Cubans or wherever else they go. But this also came out in time headlines. Russia TV claims that Moscow could deploy ICBMs in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
You see? It says Kremlin propagandists have claimed that countries in Latin America, including Mexico, could host missiles that can strike American targets. I'll throw that in the chat. So these nations setting themselves up. But that's it for the World War III talk. We could quickly kind of hit this digital idea if you want. Or we end it there. Bring this up next week.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you.
How long we been going? Let's see.
We can get it next week.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. We can do that. Well, I'm gonna throw this article in the chat. Yeah, we can end it right there. You want to take us out?
Yeah, come. Well, shit. Yeah. Well, this third woe, just as the scriptures say, it cometh quickly. And yeah, man, it's pressure from above, pressure from below. It's gonna be. I see why the scriptures say a time like never before. So things are quickly ramping up. We don't have but a short time left. So, it would behoove everyone. I'm going to getting up out of here. I'll bring this out right quick. This is Ephesians chapter 5, verse 4. Yeah, I started 14. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 14. Wherefore he said, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Messiah shall give thee light. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, all right, because the days are evil. And also, because the days are short. So the days are evil and they're also short. So it would behoove everyone who believes, everyone who sees, everyone who the Most High blessed with the eye salve to redeem the times. And that's just to say, make the most of this time and the grace that we was given and granted. Use it. Make the most of it. All right. And redeem the time that you have left. Give that to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Quit living selfishly upon this earth. Learning about you and being happy and having fun. His life ain't about being happy and having fun. America is the result. All the shit that you seeing in the world, well, here in America, is the result of people wanting to be happy and have fun. The LGBTQ, all they want to do is be accepted so they can be happy and have fun. Everybody. That's not sustainable. The path that America is on is not sustainable. All right. What is sustainable? Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai. This is what's sustainable. So if you're a Hebrew Israelite, you have the ears to hear this word. All right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and you Native Americans predominantly, redeem them times or these times. All right, because your time is running out. So with that, we're in this lesson, and we pray that you brothers and sisters were edified. All right, we do our best to get you up to date news and relate it to the scriptures. All right, and it's a it's a labor of love, but it is a labor. So we pray that you're edified through these lessons and that you could use the info for your own, for your own salvation. So and with that, to the next one, we're gonna give our praise, honor, and glory before we get out of here until Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Rachakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. So to the next one, Shalom.
Shalom.
All right.